The Ars Goetia is the first and most famous section of the Lesser Key of Solomon. It is a grimoire of ceremonial magic dating to the 17th century, though its roots stretch far deeper into the Western esoteric tradition. The word Goetia itself comes from the Greek, meaning sorcery or howling, a hint at the nature of the spirits catalogued within. The text claims an origin in the reign of King Solomon, the wise ruler of ancient Israel. According to the tradition, Solomon possessed a ring engraved with the true name of God and the seal of Solomon, which gave him authority over all spirits, both celestial and infernal. He summoned 72 demons, bound them by divine power, and imprisoned them in a bronze vessel sealed with magical symbols. He compelled them to serve his will, and through their labor, the great temple of Jerusalem was built. After Solomon's death, Babylonian magicians discovered the vessel and, believing it contained treasure, broke it open, releasing the spirits back into the world, along with all their legions. The 72 demons are organized in a strict hierarchy, mirroring the feudal structure of medieval Europe. At the top stand the kings, Bael, Paimon, Leth, and Porsun, among others. Below them are the dukes, princes, presidents, marquises, earls, and knights. Each rank carries its own protocols for summoning. Kings may only be invoked from 9 in the morning until noon, and from 3 in the afternoon until sunset. Presidents can be bound at any time except twilight. The grimoire is meticulous about these rules, and deviation is said to court disaster. Bael, the first spirit in the catalogue, is a king ruling over the east who commands 66 legions of infernal spirits. He appears in various forms, sometimes as a cat, sometimes as a toad, sometimes as a man, and sometimes in all these shapes at once. His power is to make the magician invisible. Among the most renowned spirits is Paimon, a great king who appears with tremendous sound and spectacle, riding a dromedary and accompanied by a host of spirits playing trumpets and cymbals. He teaches all arts, sciences, and secret things, and can reveal the mysteries of the earth, the waters, and the winds. He can bestow dignities, lordships, and the favor of friends and enemies alike. Astaroth, the 29th spirit, is a mighty duke who appears as an angel riding an infernal beast, carrying a viper in his right hand. The magician must take care not to let Astaroth approach too closely, protecting himself with a magical ring held before his face against the demon's fetid breath. Despite this, Astaroth is a willing teacher of the liberal sciences and gives true answers concerning past, present, and future events. He will also reveal the secret of the fall of the angels if asked. Asmoday, the 32nd spirit, is a great king who appears with 3 heads, a bull, a man, and a ram. He rides upon an infernal dragon and carries a lance and banner. He teaches arithmetic, astronomy, geometry, and all handicrafts. He can make men invisible, reveals the locations of hidden treasures, and guards them once found. The practice of Goetic magic requires elaborate preparation. The magician must construct a magical circle 9 feet in diameter, inscribed with divine names and protective symbols, including the names of the 4 archangels, Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, and Uriel. Within this circle, the practitioner is shielded from the spirits he conjures. Outside the circle stands the triangle of art, 3 feet across, where the spirit is compelled to appear. The triangle bears the name Michael and the sacred word primumaton along its edges. The magician must also prepare several instruments: the hexagram of Solomon, a symbol of divine authority worn on the skirt of his white vestment, the pentagram of Solomon drawn on calfskin and held against the breast to compel obedience, and the ring of Solomon, bearing the seal of protection, held before the face during evocations to shield against the vapors and flames of the infernal spirits. The conjuration itself proceeds through a series of increasingly forceful invocations. The first conjuration calls the spirit by the authority of divine names, Ado, Tet, Gram-Atan, Sa-Ba-Oth, and others, demanding that the spirit appear in fair and comely form within the triangle. If the spirit fails to appear, the second conjuration employs stronger language and greater authority. Should the spirit still resist, the magician proceeds to the constraint, and ultimately to the general curse, which threatens to bind the spirit into a lake of fire and brimstone until the day of judgment. Once the spirit appears within the triangle, the magician addresses it with the welcome, acknowledging its presence and commanding it to fulfill its task peaceably and without deception. When the work is done, the license to depart is given, dismissing the spirit with blessings and the instruction to return whenever called again, departing in peace and without harm to any creature. The text as we have it today comes primarily from the translation of S.L. Mac Gregg, or Mathers, co-founder of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, with editorial additions by Aleister Crowley. Crowley's introduction, titled The Initiated Interpretation of Ceremonial Magic, reframes the entire operation in psychological terms. He suggests that the demons are not external beings at all, but projections of the human brain, portions of the mind given form and name so that the magician might command the forces of his own unconscious. In this reading, the elaborate rituals, the circles, the divine names, the threats and blessings, all serve as a technology of self-mastery. The text is traditionally preceded by the preliminary invocation, also known as the Bornless Ritual. This invocation is not addressed to the demons themselves, but to the supreme divine power above them. The magician identifies himself with the bornless spirit, the uncreated one, and calls upon the authority of the divine to compel all spirits into obedience. It serves as both a spiritual preparation and a declaration of the magician's right to command, establishing his authority before any conjuration begins. Whether one reads the Ars Goetia as a practical manual of spirit evocation or as a psychological map of the inner world, its influence on Western esotericism is beyond question. 4 centuries after its compilation, it remains one of the most studied, most practiced, and most debated texts in the entire tradition of ceremonial magic. Its 72 demons, with their strange forms and stranger powers, continue to fascinate scholars and practitioners alike.